Welcome to Sabbath School, brought to you by It Is Written. I'm Eric Flickinger, your host, and we're going to continue this week in our journey through the book of Hebrews. This is lesson number 3, Jesus the Promised Son. And joining me today once again is the author of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide. That is Dr. Felix Cortez. He is the Associate Professor of New Testament Literature at Andrews University. Pastor Felix, welcome back again.
I'm very happy to be here.
So let's talk for just a moment before we dive into this week's lesson. The Sabbath School Guide, this quarter's series of 13 lessons, when did this come into being? When did you begin working on these 13 lessons on the book of Hebrews? The book of Hebrews is a phenomenal book. It's a very deep book, lots of theology, important theology in there. How did this series of 13 lessons get its origin? How far back did that go?
Well, it's a very interesting story, Eric, because I was originally going to write on the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John is a beautiful gospel. I love it. But when I received the invitation to write on the Gospel of John, it was in 2015. But then a friend of mine who had been asked to write on Hebrews, he told me, I love the Gospel of John. You are an expert on Hebrews because I did my dissertation and my publications are on the book of Hebrews. So he says, why don't we switch? You write on Hebrews and I write on John. And John, I said, okay, that's very fine. So I then accepted the invitation to write on Hebrews. And that meant that my invitation was deferred for 2 years. So I received the invitation to write on Hebrews in January 2017. And I was expected to produce a manuscript by February 2019. So it was almost 4 years ago, or a little more than 4 years ago.
So that's a fair bit of work. And of course, you've already had a lot of experience in the book of Hebrews. You mentioned doing your dissertation on it and so forth. Your official title is the Associate Professor of New Testament Literature. Certainly, Hebrews is part of New Testament literature. What else kind of falls under that umbrella of New Testament literature?
Well, basically, I am a professor of biblical theology. I teach at the seminary, here at the Seventh-day Adventist Theological Seminary, and I teach all courses related to New Testament. But my focus is on several aspects of the New Testament. One is what is called the later New Testament, which is Hebrews, which is the Catholic or general epistles. So those are the areas. I also teach advanced Greek for New Testament students, for doctoral students. I teach advanced Greek. And I teach also a class that I enjoyed very much, which is called Great Controversy, Covenant, Law, and Sabbath. Very full, very Adventist class. So, I get to do what I love, which is to study the Bible and then to go deep into it, to read, research, Adventist and non-Adventist research on it. Some of my research is shared with non-Adventists as well as we go to meetings like Society of Biblical Literature. I was the coordinator of one of these sections for non-Adventist scholars in the international meeting for 6 years. So it has been really a privilege. I have enjoyed that very much.